Let's boost your English skills.
Hello, listeners. Welcome back to the Boost English podcast. I'm Olivia, your host. How's everyone doing out there? I hope you're feeling great and ready to improve your English through our fun, natural conversations.
Hi, Olivia. It's great to be here again. I'm Billy, and I'll be chiming in now and then. How's your day going so far?
Not too bad. I tried a new morning routine, 10 minutes of quiet reflection before checking my phone. It felt surprisingly refreshing. How about you, Billy?
I'm doing well. I took a quick jog at sunrise. It cleared my head, although I'm still waiting for my coffee to kick in. By the way, you look like you're glowing. Did that reflective time really help?
It did. I often reach for my phone first thing in the morning, and then my brain gets crowded with messages. Today was different, but enough about that. We have a big topic: how to understand yourself. It's a fascinating subject.
Absolutely. It's something that can seriously boost your happiness, decision-making, and relationships. Before we dive in, though, how's our week been, aside from new routines?
Pretty good. I got into a minor mix-up at the grocery store. I was so focused on my shopping list that I nearly walked out without paying. The cashier had to call me back. I was mortified.
That's embarrassing, but kind of funny. At least you realized before you got too far. I once left my keys in the fridge along with the vegetables, so I totally get that distracted feeling.
That's hilarious. Well, at least we have entertaining stories for our listeners. Anyway, let's shift gears to our main conversation. The idea of understanding yourself can sound vague, but it's essential for living an authentic life.
Yes, it helps you see what you truly want, not just what society or other people expect. You learn about your core values, your strengths, and even your blind spots.
Right? One practical step is to pay attention to your emotions. Instead of ignoring them, try to understand why you feel a certain way. Sometimes we're upset because we're not aligned with what we really need.
Good point. I often used to say yes to every request until I felt completely drained. Then I'd wonder, why am I so stressed? Now I realize it's because I ignored my limits.
Same here. We have to acknowledge that we can't please everyone and stay sane. Another thing is recognizing your preferences, like how you recharge. Are you energized by social settings, or do you prefer alone time?
Exactly. I learned I need pockets of silence during the day. Without that, I get cranky. Once I accepted that part of me, I stopped feeling guilty about declining some invitations.
It's a big relief when you honor your true nature. Another angle is discovering your personal values. For example, if you value creativity, yet your job stifles it, you'll feel unfulfilled. Recognizing that can lead you to a better path.
Absolutely. You can also reflect on what tasks or interactions feel meaningful. If you lose track of time when working on art or coding or teaching, that might hint at a deeper passion.
Definitely. And self-understanding isn't about perfection. It's about noticing patterns. For instance, I realized I tend to overthink. Knowing that helps me set boundaries on how much I ruminate.
That's healthy. We can't always change our innate traits, but we can adapt. I realized I'm competitive, and that can be good for motivation. But it can also make me push too hard. So I try to balance that.
Good example. Another aspect is learning to handle criticism. If you know you're sensitive, you might prepare yourself mentally or work on responding calmly. This self-awareness helps you grow.
Agreed. And sometimes we discover parts of ourselves we're not proud of. Maybe we get jealous or defensive. Acknowledging these flaws is the first step to improving.
Exactly. Ignoring them won't make them disappear. Self-awareness allows us to face them and do better. One method I like is journaling. Writing out my thoughts clarifies them in a way that just thinking doesn't.
Me too. It's like a mirror for the mind. Another approach is talking to a friend or mentor who can give honest feedback. Sometimes we're blind to our own habits.
So true. That honest reflection can highlight issues you never noticed, and there's nothing wrong with seeking professional help, like a counselor, if you need deeper guidance.
Definitely. Therapy or counseling isn't just for crisis mode. It can also help you understand your motivations and emotional patterns in everyday life.
It's a sign of strength to proactively work on yourself. If we deny or avoid self-reflection, we might feel stuck or keep repeating the same mistakes.
Yes, and by getting to know ourselves, we become more compassionate toward others too. We realize everyone has their own quirks and struggles.
Absolutely. Now, in practical terms, how do we handle negative emotions that come up when we look inward?
First, accept them. It's okay to feel upset or worried. Then, figure out why. Maybe it's an unmet need, a fear, or some old belief about yourself. Understanding that root cause can guide you.
Perfectly said. Also, try not to judge yourself harshly for having those emotions. They're signals, not final verdicts. Once you see them as information, it's less scary.
Right. And from a more proactive standpoint, you can test out changes. If you suspect you're an introvert, try scheduling a weekend alone and see how you feel afterward. Gather data about yourself.
That's a good idea. Experimentation leads to clarity. You don't have to figure everything out in your head. Doing something different often reveals truths about what works for you.
Exactly. And it's an ongoing process. You might change over time, so it's wise to periodically reassess. Something that was perfect for you 5 years ago might not fit now.
Yes, we evolve. That's part of being human, and it keeps life interesting. So, Billy, do you remember a time when you had a breakthrough in understanding yourself?
Sure, in college, I forced myself to party almost every night because I thought that was the fun thing to do. Then I realized I actually enjoy reading in a quiet spot. I didn't hate parties, but they drained me. Recognizing that was huge.
That's a classic. Peer pressure can mask what we really enjoy. For me, I discovered I thrive with a balance of social and private time. Too much of either side throws me off.
Right. Let's mention the benefits of understanding yourself. Clarity in decisions, better boundaries, healthier relationships, less burnout, more genuine happiness. It really impacts everything.
Exactly. You're kinder to yourself and more at peace. Plus, you attract people and opportunities that align with who you truly are, rather than those that just fill space in your life.
That's well put. Now, should we move toward explaining some terms that might have popped up in our chat? We want to ensure our listeners fully grasp them.
Great idea. Let's start with authentic. This word means genuine or real, being true to who you are instead of pretending to be someone else.
Right. We also used self-awareness, which is the ability to see and understand your own emotions, behaviors, and thoughts, and how they affect you and others.
Then we said alignment or aligned. It refers to matching or fitting well with something, like your actions matching your values. If you're aligned with your principles, you feel more peaceful and focused.
Exactly. Boundaries came up too. These are the limits you set for what's acceptable in your life. How much time, energy, or emotional capacity you can give before feeling overwhelmed.
Another term is reflect. In this context, it means to think carefully about something, especially your feelings or actions, to gain insight and understanding.
Yes, and journaling is the act of writing down your thoughts, experiences, and feelings regularly. It helps organize your mind and spot patterns you might miss otherwise.
Also, we mentioned trigger. This is something that causes a strong emotional response. It can be a situation, word, or even a memory that sets off anxiety, anger, or sadness.
Definitely. We also talked about burnout. That's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion from prolonged stress or feeling overworked.
Right? Another one is counseling, which is professional guidance to help you deal with personal or emotional problems. It's often provided by therapists, psychologists, or other mental health experts.
Precisely. Finally, core values. These are the fundamental beliefs or standards that guide how you live and make decisions, like honesty, creativity, family, or freedom.
Excellent. I think that covers the key words. If you, as a listener, come across unfamiliar terms, remember to pause, think about the context, and if needed, look them up or replay that section of the podcast.
Yes, repetition is a fantastic way to improve your English, as well as deepen your understanding of a topic. Don't worry if it feels challenging at first. It becomes easier with practice.
Exactly. We hope this discussion not only helps you improve your language skills, but also inspires you to explore who you are on a deeper level.
That's our goal. We're all about combining meaningful content with language development. It's a win-win situation, right?
Totally. Before we wrap up, let's offer a quick recap. It's important to notice your feelings, strengths, and weaknesses. Keep track of your preferences and values. Try journaling or talking with someone. Respect your boundaries and stay open to change as you grow.
Perfect summary. Self-knowledge is a journey, not a final destination. So take it step by step, and don't forget to enjoy the process.
Absolutely. All right, it's time for us to say goodbye. Thank you, Billie, for joining me today, and thank you, listeners, for tuning in to the Boost English podcast.
Always a pleasure, Olivia. Thanks for having me. And to everyone out there, keep discovering who you are and keep practicing your English.
Well said. Take care, everyone, and we'll catch you next time on Boost English.